Okay. Are we on?
Right, sure.
Cool. Okay.
Good to go.
Hi. I'm here with Adjunct Associate Professor Annette Fu. This is at NUS Business School, and so glad to be here. Thank you, Annette.
Thank you very much, Paul O'Connor.
And we're talking about design thinking and with respect to the financial industry, financial services industry, the banks. And there's a really interesting paper in it that you shared with us. This is the design thinking, the new DNA of the financial sector. So we've got to get a copy of this. But in that, it just gives us some ideas about thinking about also how can you just approach research in this area? Do you approach it from a point of view of management accounting or big data or something like that? And so what we talked about is some frameworks to understand how we could approach this. And one way is to approach it is by using an innovation type framework, where we start thinking about how does innovation come by government driving innovation through engineering-based innovation, or is it like multinationals driving efficiency-based innovation, like we know about that because banks just lay off staff in order to get more efficient? Or do we drive it through market challenged innovation, which is very much design thinking comes from here, or is it basic R&D, which is long term? And you know, in today's society, things are going very, very fast. For R&D to take shape and pay off in the short term, it takes a long time. So thinking about that innovative framework, design thinking is kind of like joins this market-based approach to innovation and the efficiency-based. It joins them together because you're actually going to the customer to find new ideas about what may fit in new products in the future, and then you're bringing it back and thinking about, well, how efficiently can we bring such product to market? And it's kind of like what design thinking is all about. And so that's what we're doing with that innovation framework. And then we started thinking about, okay, so Annette wants to do some research in this area or make a start. So where do we start in that? And this is for PhD students too. One way to start is to not think about it as a management accounting problem. Don't think about it as a big data problem. Don't think about it as a information system problem, but think about it in terms of decisions that banks have to make. Like we understand in today's society that they are challenged. There's challenger banks coming along, virtual banks. We know that these changes are coming along. So one approach that we're going to try with this project, if we're making a start to understand the financial sector in Singapore, is we will start with thinking about approaching the banks like a fieldwork and going and asking about how they manage their employees and what are the biggest challenges with their employees, the biggest challenges, and how are they responding to these challenges. Is it motivation? Is it empowerment? Is there readiness or their resilience or their capacity to deal with the future? Or you may ask the banks, or tell us about your number one challenge and how you're responding to that challenge with respect to the competition or the challenger banks, the virtual banking. Are you making or buying? That is, in other words, making. Are you making your own virtual bank product, or are you buying? That is, are you going to go out and actually partner up with someone like Grab as a strategy? And then finally, we could ask questions about the bank's customers. That is, what are your biggest challenge when it comes to understanding your customers and the product needs, and how you're responding to that? And so as a result of asking those two questions about the employees, the competition, and the customers, you can start to think about, okay, so what are the big decisions in these three areas that you need to make today? And then you can go back and think about, okay, so what over the next 5 years, how can you be ready from an information point of view to be on the cutting edge to make up to minute and accurate decisions in each of these three areas? So what information do you need to actually keep up to date in these three areas? And so in some ways you're working backwards, and it's kind of like a design thinking approach to thinking about the research, that is starting off with that problem and working back to what information do you need to solve that problem. And so at the end of the day, we've got to make decisions, and you need information for decisions. So that's what we're doing with this project, and we'll see how it goes. So thank you for tuning in. This is O'Connor with Associate Professor Annette Fu at NUS Business School. Bye for now.
Thank you.